What is going on, everybody? WeedleTwineedle here, and we are backing in with another Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle, and this one's going to be against Aidan, a first night battle off my Discord server. So if you guys are interested in a Pokemon Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle and trade Discord chat from any place to hang out and find yourself a Wi-Fi battle, definitely check out my Discord server. A link will be in the description if you're interested in that kind of thing. Now today, me and Aidan are having a PU Wi-Fi battle today, as Aidan's team looks very, very threatening. He has like the tier titans at PU with like Mesprit, Skuntank, which is a very solid dark type, Lilligant and Pyroar, which are just super threatening in general. And yeah, his picture looks really weird too. He looks like those kind of girls on social media that take pictures of half of their face for some reason. I don't really know why, but some of you guys should know what I'm talking about, right? Like, I can't be the only one. I'm using a very fun team, as you can tell from the freaking Nidorino and Riolu. I'm using a very interesting rain team. I have Rain Dance on a Alolan Persian, then I have Swift Swim, Bandit, Armaldo, and Offensive Articuno. It's a pretty fun team. It's one of those low-key rain teams that people aren't supposed to know it's rain until after you use Rain Dance, and not like really telegraphed like Kabutops, Ulicola, Gorbis. So yeah, I mean, that was my idea behind it. So turn one, I decided to lead off with my Alolan Persian, as my opponent leads off with the regular Golem, not even a Alolan Golem. I'm surprised. So I'm going to go for Taunt turn one, because I'm trying to prevent those Stealth Rocks, because I do have Articuno, of course. And now, I'm just going to decide to go for the Foul Play, because I want to break this thing sturdy, because I don't want to give this thing a chance to activate its weakness policy, or just have a chance to lay up Stealth Rock. So he's going to proceed to go for Earthquake, but since Alolan Persian has the Fur Coat ability, I'm going to snack this Earthquake like it was nothing. And now, I'm just going to proceed to go for Parting Shot, because Foul Play is not a 2-hit KO, and I'm not trying to let this thing get really weakened. So now my opponent actually decides to bring in the Girder, expecting Foul Play, but I just go for the Parting Shot just to make the safe play, just because I'm offensive momentum, in case my opponent wants to switch out as well. And thankfully we're able to get the play correctly, and we're able to Parting Shot out, and to my Cucurino, my Nidorino. So I do resist Girder's Fighting Stab, and I do have the Poisium Z. I'm actually a Z move Nidorino with Hustle, so I know I can just face tank whatever my opponent wants to go for. So now my opponent decides to switch into the Golems. I decided to go for Hone Claws, knowing I could tank at least 2 attacks from that Girder. And now, I'm going to set up the Hone Claws, and now I'm going to proceed to just go for Drill Run, because Drill Run is just my best play overall. It'll do the most damage, and it should be able to knock out Golem with the Hone Claws boost and Hustle, and thankfully, we're actually able to knock out the Golem, so he's unable to get up the entry hazards for my Articuno to be tilted. So thankfully, Articuno breathes a sigh of relief. And now, in comes the Mesprit. I'm going to actually decide to stay in here, expecting my opponent to predict my switch, but he goes for Ice Beam, thinking that I'm actually a Ground type. But the game tells you if your move is going to be super effective or not, so there's no excuses. There is no excuses. So he kind of like misplayed there, as now I'm able to go for my Poison Z move. I actually stayed in expecting him to predict my switch into a Alolan Persian and go for Signal Beam or Dazzling Gleam, but he actually goes for Ice Beam instead, which works for me. I'm perfectly okay with that. And Acid Downpour is going to one-shot the Mesprit thanks to my Hone Claws boost. And yeah, Nidorino actually 1v1 the Mesprit because my opponent misplayed. So that was very impressive. Nidorino getting 2 kills all on its own, like damn. Good job, Nidorino. But now my opponent is going to bring in the Pyroar here, and I'm very glad we were able to knock out that Mesprit, because Mesprit was a huge problem for my team to deal with. Like always, Mesprit is a fair and balanced Pokemon in the PU tier. But yeah, Healing or Hyper Voice is going to knock out my Nidorino. I read that wrong for some reason. I read it as Healing Wish, but it's not Healing Wish, it's just Hyper Voice. I read the V as a W or whatever. It's okay. It's right. It's not a big deal. We're going to bring in Tyrone here, expecting him to be afraid of the fighting type. My opponent knows better. He's not going to give my Tyrone a free turn to go for Sword Stance, so he's just going to knock me out with the Hyper Voice. Definitely could have played the Riolu a little bit better, but I didn't really have any opportunities to bring it in, except for maybe against Girder, but I just thought maybe my opponent would be afraid because he's a normal type, but he had no fear of the Riolu. I mean, he didn't want to get soloed by 2 NFEs, so he had to settle it at 1. But now my opponent is going to bring in the Girder, as I'm going to go for the Earth Power, just to weaken it a little bit. And I'm not offensive Camerupt, I'm actually defensive with Stealth Rocks. My opponent probably thinks my Armaldo is the Stealth Rocker, because Armaldo, like, my team, like I said, doesn't look like a rain team at all, because it's not a rain team. Like, if it was a full-blown rain team, we would have seen Kabutops, and the battle would have been over already, because my opponent's rain switching is literally, like, non-existent. But, like, yeah, I'm not using rain, because rain is so brainless. Like, it's literally so easy to win with rain, and from personal experience on Showdown, like, I literally got, like, top 10, like, ORAS on you, and, like, one day, because of freaking rain. It was ridiculous. Like, I'm not even joking about that. I don't have any proof of it, so I guess you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Gotta do some Vrilla strats here and just take my word for it, because I have no evidence for it, what I'm claiming. But yeah, he's gonna get some poison damage here with Girder. As now I'm going to proceed to bring in Articuno here, my Anivia, and I'm just going to go for the Hurricane. I do have Hurricane on this thing, but I decided, I'm like, wait a minute, Hurricane has lower than 100% accuracy, so let's not go for Hurricane. Let's just go for Rain Dance instead to finally show my opponent that I'm actually somewhat of a rain team. Like, it's not a full-blown rain team, it's just kind of like semi-rain. Like, I mean, I don't know, it's meant to catch my opponent off guard, which it definitely does here, because my opponent was probably not anticipating me to be offensive Articuno, but this Drain Punch damage definitely tells him that. And I'm actually surprised it took that Drain Punch that well, honestly, because Girder with Guts hits extremely hard. I think poisoning the Girder was a little bit of a misplay with Camerupt, but I mean, I just wanted to make sure it was on a clock. And I mean, I'm able to bring an Articuno here anyways, and I guess if I didn't poison it, I would have been at a lot higher of a health stat. But yeah, I mean, you can't play flawlessly every game. Sometimes you gotta make your mishaps. And it's okay, it happens, you gotta own up to your mistakes, but we're still able to knock out the Girder with the Hurricane, and Articuno still has one hit under its belt, but unfortunately now my opponent's able to bring the Lilligant, and since both my Camerupt and my Articuno are weakened, my Lilligant switch in and my counter does not exist, so now he's able to go for Giga Drain, and my 6 health Articuno is unable to tank that, and down goes my Articuno. So it's really unfortunate for me, but what can you do? Down goes Articuno, and now I gotta bring in Ben 10 because I do have the rain still up, and AM Choice, Bandit, Armaldo. I can just go for Bandit Exeter here, or Stone Edge and just knock out something, but of course I go for Exeter because I'm not risking the miss, because if I miss it'd be really detrimental. So I know Exeter's gonna 2-hit KO whatever he brings in. Even if Pyroar comes in, it's still going to get 2-hit KO because Armaldo hits really hard with the Choice Band, so Exeter's going to easily 2-hit KO this Pyroar. And my Rain is going to wear off the following turn though, because my Articuno doesn't have Damp Break, it has Life Orb, so that's kind of unfortunate because now he's able to just bring back in the Lilligant, and I still have to deal with that monstrous threat. And yeah, the Rain's going to fade away here, and now my opponent's going to bring out the Lilligant. His win con at this point, I think this is my opponent's last chance of winning, as my Armaldo's in here. I'm hoping I can dodge Sleep Powder, but unfortunately he's going to connect Sleep Powder, which really sucks. If he missed that Sleep Powder, he would have instantly lost the game, but now it comes very close. It comes down to if Armaldo can wake up, because if I try and switch up and set up the Rain, it's not really going to work for me, because he's going to Quiver Dance here, and then just outspeed my Lone Persian and knock me out with the Giga Drain, so I can't make that play. If I switch into a Lone Persian on the Sleep Powder, he would have Quiver Dance, and then just, I guess it may have been a better move, but I'm not too sure. I honestly thought staying in was just my safest move overall, as unfortunately my Armaldo's still snoozing away, and I'm just pretty much hoping that he doesn't have a way to one-shot me. I mean, if he has like Pedal Dance, he might be able to one-shot me, but I should be able to tank a Giga Drain, as thankfully Armaldo face tanks that pretty well, and it actually, Ben 10 wakes up. He turns into an alien before your very eyes, and this Exeter is going to one-shot the Lilligant, and now all my opponent has left is the Skuntank, which he hasn't really sent out this entire game, which is kind of surprising. Usually people try to use a Skuntank for the entirety of the game, but I never got an entry hazard, so I guess there was no point in even sending it out, because I don't really prioritize setting out entry hazards every game, because sometimes it's not really that important. Like, sometimes entry hazards really don't do you that much, and yeah, so now my opponent reveals to be a special Skuntank, which is very good for me, because that means as long as I get the Rain up, Armaldo will be able to outpace it and knock him out with the Choice Bandit Earthquake. I don't even have to worry about Aftermath killing me, so we're going to set up the Rain Dance here with my Lone Persian just to guarantee I outspeed him. I'm pretty sure Skuntank does outspeed Armaldo even though I am max speed. I'm actually adamant, I'm not even jolly because I want to have as much raw power as humanly possible. But yeah, Dark Pulse is going to do nothing. I'm just waiting for my Lone Persian to die. I'm just going to proceed to try and weaken him down with Foul Play, but Foul Play of course isn't going to be doing too much damage to the Skuntank because it has Resist, and it has no attack investment because he is special Skuntank, it looks like. But if he was special, I feel like Flamethrower would have been a better move, because Flamethrower, even in the rain, I mean, Fur Coat does make you weak to Flamethrower, so, or fire type attacks in general, right?
Nope.
Like, maybe that's just Fluffy, but I think it's also Fur Coat too. I could be wrong. But now, gonna bring in Ben 10 here, and with the Swift Swim, I should be able to outspeed, but he has Sucker Punch, and I'm like, no! Live! And he lives at 5 hit points. Ben 10, Choice Bandit Ben 10 comes through in the end. Choice Bandit Earthquake is able to knock out the Skuntank. And yeah, that Sucker Punch was not what I was anticipating, because he showed Dark Pulse, so I wasn't expecting it. But we're able to just narrowly win the battle with a 1-0 victory thanks to Bandit Armaldo living the Sucker Punch. And that was a very fun Wi-Fi battle, Aidan. I had a blast with this game, and I hope you guys did enjoy this Wi-Fi battle, as it was pretty fun, and I got to use some pretty fun Pokemon in this game. If you guys did enjoy the Wi-Fi battle and really want to support my channel, please be sure to leave a like on the video, as it really means the world, guys, and it's just much appreciated. And yeah, the question of the day is going to be what is your favorite items to use in competitive Pokemon in general. Let me know in the comments down below which items you guys use the most in competitive play. Now my answer is going to be extremely obvious to anyone who's watched my channel for even a short period of time. My answer is the weakness policy. Now weakness policy is a very broken item in my personal opinion. Not like the item itself is broken, just the concept of it is so broken. Like, your enemy gets punished for making the correct play. Like, they hit you with a super effective attack, like, nice job, but then you get rewarded by getting a free nasty plot and swords dance? Like, how is that even balanced? Like, I don't understand, but I love it so much because nobody expects it. Even if I use it over and over and over and over again, they're gonna go for those super effective attacks and you're gonna get the reward. And it's just so stupid, but I love the item so very much. But besides weakness policy, my favorite item is probably the choice items. The choice items are actually super important when it comes to competitive play. Like, Game Freak introduced Choice Band in Gen 3, and then Choice Band wasn't meant to be used like in game, like that was meant to be used like in competitive battles. And then they like that went really well, so then they introduced like Choice Specs, Life Orb to be like a weaker version of both, and Choice Scarf. Like, could you imagine the game without those items? Like, those items are super important. And from those items they built on even further with like Red Card Eject Button, and then you have like weakness policy, Rocky Helmet. Like, there's so many cool items to use, and it all really started from like the choice items, honestly, and I think they're the most important in competitive play. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite item is to use in competitive play. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching till the end of the video. I'll check you guys next time. Bye.